This is the Horse Radio Network. This is episode 47 of Horse Tip Daily, a different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you one day at a time. Today's topic is sponsored by EasySignsOnline.com, one of the largest maker of farm signs in the world. Enjoy today's tip. I'm Glenn the Geek from Lexington, Kentucky, and you're listening to Horse Tip Daily. Welcome back, everybody. Today we have back with us international dressage rider Reese Koffler-Stanfield. She was filling in for Heather Blitz last week on the Dressage Radio Show here on the Horse Radio Network. Reese is a young and upcoming star in dressage here in the United States, actually not too far from me, just down the road in Georgetown, Kentucky, and is well known for her training program in both eventing and dressage. You can hear the whole episode of the Dressage Radio Show that this tape was taken from on dressageradio.com and listen to episode 15. And we'll be with Reese and actually Chris Stafford, her co-host, in a minute right after I speak to you about EasySignsOnline.com. They are the largest sign maker in the United States for farm signs for horses, and you can check out their brand new no-maintenance farm signs. They have a ton of different varieties and styles on there. You know, signs are always on the job for you, advertising 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. We get all of our signs from EasySignsOnline.com. We get our banners for the shows. We have all kinds of things that we've gotten from them. They also do stall nameplates, and they do all the signs that you would see around your barn, from tack room signs to wash stall signs to stall nameplates, whatever you want. They have the no-maintenance farm signs. And they also do the elaborate carved signs to your entrance sign, as I said, vinyl banners, pet memorial markers as well. Check them all out at EasySignsOnline.com. And remember, you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. Well, here's Reese and Chris talking about leg yields.
Well, Chris, I wanted to talk about the ever-popular leg yield. It's really a question I get a lot. You know, my horse is stiff. How do I make him better? How do I get my horse more active off my leg aids? So I decided the ever-popular leg yield, because there's lots of forms of the leg yield. If you look at the test, it's not just always going down the center line and leg yielding to the rail. There are other forms of this leg yield, and really what the riders want to think is that their inside leg is at the girth and their outside leg is just a neutral leg. And you're pushing the horse off the inside leg, engaging that inside hind leg, and having a little bit more connection on the outside rein, which is really what we're working on. So some of the ways to do leg yields are things, for example, on a circle. If you're on a circle, let's say at C, there's a nice open side of that circle. And what I like to do is have my students push their horses out. I say make the circle really fat. Try to get to X. That way, pushing the horses off your inside leg, but then your outside rein and leg need to be there to kind of catch the horse so that he can't just fall out the shoulder, but that he's connected there. And that connection is what you really need for things such as corners and other turns that will help. So you can leg yield on the circle. You can also leg yield along the wall. That's a different form of a leg yield, but it's the same. And for leg yielding along the wall, you have the horse's nose on the rail, and then you're actually pushing the horse's haunches off the rail, but you stay for the full exercise along the wall. So you don't move off the long side, but the horse's nose is facing the boards, and their haunches are slightly to the inside. So at this point, you're pushing the horse what would in theory be your inside rein, but since you've changed the flexion, you push them to that outside rein. It's again, you're pushing the horse using that inside leg and pushing to the outside rein and leg. And what a leg yield does is it makes sure that the horse is active off your lateral aids. So when you put your leg on, your horse moves away from it in a active, quick fashion. And the other thing is it just helps in general with bending and flexion, thinking kind of yoga for horses. It really helps to have them bend side to side. And it's a great exercise, and it's used. You should use it every day, all the way to Grand Prix. From little babies, from 4-year-olds on up, can learn to leg yield. So I hope that's a helpful exercise.
Well, thank you, Reese. Just one thing I wanted to pull out of there when you said an active, quick response to the leg yield, and I'm sure you mean not quick in that it would be sudden, but it would be flowing and more of an active response for the horses to be responsive to your aids. I think that's what we're looking at. We're looking for smooth, but not quick or jerky. But
right.
I'm sure you meant responsive. That they are immediately responsive to you, right?
Right. And, a lot of times you put your leg on and the horse just kind of, says, what? What do you want? And we want to kind of get rid of that. We want that when you put your leg on, that the horse just softly moves away from it, but there's a response. A lot of times there's no response. And that's what we want to kind of get rid of, because then the riders say, oh, but my horse, he's so stiff and he doesn't move. Well, part of that reason is because he is not responsive to that aid. So that's a great way to put it.
Thanks again to Reese and Chris Stafford for making these tips possible each week. As I said, you can hear the whole episode of the Dressage Radio Show that this tip was on by going to dressageradio.com and listening to episode 15. Now it's time for this week's email. This email is from Ray. I think I'm pronouncing that right, and I apologize if I'm not. She says, hey, Glenn and Chris, I just wanted to tell you how much I love your show. I subscribe to it through iTunes and can't wait for the next episode to come out every time. I'm also a fan of the Horse Tips show. It's very entertaining, and they are always tips that are good to know. Well, we hope today's tip will help you out also, Ray. And thanks for dropping us the email. We really appreciate it. And you had some suggestions that continued in the email, and we're definitely going to be looking into those. Please, if you want to drop me an email with some suggestions or ideas or just to say hi, you can do so at Glenn with 2 N's at horseradionetwork.com. Let me know if you're enjoying the show. Do you have any specific tips you want to hear about or any experts you want to hear on the show? And as Ray said, you can subscribe through iTunes or Zune and get the shows daily downloaded automatically to your iPod, Zune, or MP3 player. I'm having trouble speaking today. I don't know what the problem is. It's Monday. Maybe that's one of the issues. I'm not sure. But it's tough just to get words out today. Also, you can follow us at Facebook. Just search for Horse Tip Daily or follow us on Twitter at Horse Radio. And you can check out all the other great shows on the network at horseradionetwork.com. And it's where you can also find all the episodes of the Dressage Radio Show that we talked about earlier. And don't miss the interview this week with Edward Gall. We had an exclusive interview with Edward Gall after his record-breaking dressage test over in Europe last week. So he was on the show before he went on a little bit of a vacation and shared about 20 minutes with us, and I think you'll want to hear that. Well, I'll be back again tomorrow with another new expert and a different horse tip. Until then, stay safe, everyone.